too intense. No, you weren't too much. They were too little, too weak to handle loyalty, too shallow to recognize the part that stings. They'll only understand your own do. That's why you stay calm. That's why you don't react. Because when you're calm in the face of betrayal, in the middle of chaos, that's when they panic. They expect the explosion. But when you fold your arms, crack a slight smile, and walk away without saying a word, that's when their whole act crumbles. They can't figure you out. They can't predict you. And nothing scares a manipulator more than a person who doesn't give them a reaction. That's when your silence becomes a mirror, and every dark, dirty thing they did stares right back at them. You gotta understand this ain't weakness. This ain't cowardice. It's a cold kind of war. A war where your weapon is discipline. You shut down the urges, bury the need to clap back, and instead, you focus. You grind. You elevate. You go so far up they can't even see your shadow. Because revenge, real revenge, isn't about making them cry. It's about making them irrelevant. They thought you'd crawl. You fly. They thought you'd beg. You build. And the silence you left behind, that's what rots them from the inside. That's what echoes in every laugh they fake, every post they make, pretending they're fine. But they're not. They're just loud. And the loudest ones, always hiding the biggest regrets. You know what's funny? The same people who swore they'd never leave are the ones who packed up first. And the louder they loved you, the quieter they slipped away. No explanation, no closure, just a cold retreat, like you never met a damn thing. And the world tells you, move on, don't dwell, forgive. But tell me, why is it always the one who got hurt that has to carry the burden of healing? Why is silence expected from the broken, but never from the ones who broke them? I'll tell you why. Because society's scared of the truth. And the truth is this: some people don't deserve forgiveness. Some betrayals don't deserve kindness. And some wounds don't close with time. They just scab over and itch every time a name gets mentioned. You don't owe them peace. You don't owe them understanding. What you owe is yourself. You owe yourself the silence to rebuild, the silence to focus, the silence to rise. Because when you're done rising, when you've become everything they mocked, everything they doubted, they'll sit there in their cheap little lives, choking on the silence you gifted them. And trust me, that silence will scream louder in their head than any rage ever could. Let's be real, they didn't break you because you were weak, they broke you because you were pure. You gave love like it mattered. You trusted like it meant something. You didn't play games, you showed up. You stayed. And in today's twisted world, people don't know what to do with that kind of loyalty. They mistake it for desperation. They label it as clingy. But deep down, they fear it because they know they'll never match it. So they run. Not because of you, but because of what you reflect. You hold up a mirror to their cowardice. their emotional poverty, their inability to love without strings. And when they look at you, all they see is what they're not. So they disappear and they pray you'll chase them. They hope you'll beg. But here's where you change the game. You don't chase. You sit with the pain, you carry it in silence, and you turn it into power. No tears they can see, no calls they can reject. Just a quiet, focused storm. Because storms don't scream, they destroy quietly. And that's who you become, a quiet destroyer. Not of people, but of limits, of weakness, of everything they told you you'd never be. You want to know when they'll feel it? Not today, not tomorrow, but one random night when the world's quiet and the noise fades, they'll remember. They'll remember how you never needed attention, how your silence wasn't finally understands their worth. And when that happens, when silence becomes your language, the world starts listening. Even the ones who said you were nothing. Let's talk about control, because that's what this whole game is really about, isn't it? They controlled how you felt, how you thought, how much you gave, and how hard you begged. They made you think love had to hurt, like loyalty had to bleed, and you swallowed every bit of it. You let them stretch your heart until it cracked, just for a drop of attention, just for a sliver of the warmth you gave them daily without hesitation. That wasn't love. That was a leash. And they held it tight every time you tried to breathe. You think silence is hard? No. What's hard is realizing you were a slave to their validation. That you danced for a little bit of approval, like a fool begging for scraps. But when you shut your mouth, when you stop explaining, stop proving, stop defending, that's when you take your power back. Silence ain't weakness. It's a reset. It's the death of the old you, the one who tolerated too much, cared too fast, loved too deeply. It's the rebirth of the version of you who watches, calculates, and walks away without turning back. That version is dangerous. They wanted you to snap. They needed you to. Because if you did, they could point and say, see, that's why I left. But when you don't, when you go calm, it drives them insane. They expected rage. They got silence. They expected fireworks. You gave them a blackout. Now they're sitting in the dark, alone with their guilt, and it's clawing at their soul. And don't think they're moved on. Oh no, they're just pretending. Every smile they post is a cry for attention. Every I'm doing great is a cover for the void they're drowning in. Because real peace doesn't look loud. It doesn't need an audience. You never see a lion explain why it stopped roaring. It just walks silently. And the whole jungle feels it. That's what your silence becomes. A roar no one hears, but everyone feels. And let me tell you something ugly. People don't break what's weak. They break what's strong and giving. They test you, not because you're easy to destroy, but because they want to see how much damage they can do before you finally say enough. And when you finally do, it shakes them. Because your silence is not empty, it's loaded. It's got every truth you never said, every tear you wiped alone, every night you bled for someone who couldn't even spell loyalty. And that silence, it'll follow them. It'll whisper in their ear when they're lying next to someone new, pretending they're happy. It'll echo in their thoughts when they compare every smile, every conversation, every feeling to the way it was with you. And nothing will compare. Because you weren't a phase. You were the best that they never understood. The kind of soul people spend lifetimes trying to find again. So you stay calm. Not because you don't care, but because
Today it is a Tuesday and I am training for arms and shoulders. I have completed 2 exercises with 5 sets for each. Now I'm gonna move on with the workout.
The point, I stopped even counting the sacrifices. I missed birthdays, skipped nights out, slept 3 hours a night. Not because I'm a machine, but because I knew what was waiting for me on the other side. Every moment of pain was a deposit into a future nobody else could see. And while they laughed, I built. While they slept, I studied. While they quit, I trained. Because deep inside me, a voice was screaming, "You are meant for more than this." And I listened. That's what you need to hear right now. That inner voice you've been ignoring, stop silencing it. It's not there to torture you. It's there to wake you up. The man who goes to war with himself every day will never lose to anyone else. That line lives inside my skull. Every single day I went to battle. With doubt, with weakness, with fear, and I won. Not all at once, but inch by inch, battle by battle. Some days I lost. Some days, that's warrior logic. That's how the elite live. We move like we've already won. Because we've already survived hell to earn the right to try. Every single second you're alive, you're either building the man you want to be or you want peace. They want sedation. They don't want clarity. They want numbness. That's why they scroll for hours, laugh at jokes that aren't funny, and fill their bodies with trash. They've surrendered quietly, without a fight. They become prisoners in their own minds, shackled by comfort and fear. But you're here because something inside you is still alive. There's a war raging inside you. The coward wants to sleep in, take it slow, blame the world. But the warrior knows the truth. That pain is the path. That discomfort is the crucible of transformation. Your mind must be stronger than your feelings. That sentence is salvation. You don't feel like pushing? Too bad. You don't feel inspired? Do it anyway. You don't feel ready? That's exactly when you go. Because feelings are lies. Emotions are the enemy when they're not under your command. A man who listens to his feelings over his mission will die confused and empty. But a man who masters his thoughts becomes unstoppable. What they never told you is that life will punish you for playing small. Not just with failure, but with mediocrity, with dullness, with a hollow existence that looks fine from the outside but feels like death when you're alone. That's the scariest part. You can live a whole life that looks okay and still die with a soul full of regret. You can make decent money, have a house, smile in photos, and still be spiritually bankrupt. Because deep down you'll know you never became who you were meant to be. And that's a pain you can't drink away, scroll away, or sleep away. That pain never leaves. So you must decide right now, are you going to keep negotiating with your inner coward? Or are you going to declare war on him? Because that's what it takes, ruthlessness. Not towards others, but toward your own weakness. No more pity, no more softness. You look at your laziness and say, you die today. You look at your excuses and say, you've ruled me long enough. You wake up and take control of your thoughts like a king reclaims his kingdom. You don't ask how you feel, you tell yourself how to feel. You program your mind with power, with precision, with unshakable clarity, because if you don't, someone else will, and they will use you. The world isn't cruel, it's indifferent. That's even worse. Nobody cares about your dreams. Nobody owes you belief, support, or encouragement. You must generate your own fire. You must learn to suffer in silence, build in darkness, and let the results speak like thunder. That's mindset. It's the decision to fight every single day, even when nobody claps, nobody sees, and nothing comes easy. The reward? Freedom. Not just financial, mental, spiritual, existential. You walk through life with a spine made of steel and eyes that have seen the abyss and refuse to blink. Stop waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. Stop chasing heroes. Become one. Discipline is the difference between being someone people admire and someone they pity. You're one decision away from changing everything. Not tomorrow, now. Get angry. Get focused. Get obsessed with becoming someone that can't be ignored. Because if you don't take control of your life, someone else will. And they'll make damn sure you never rise above them. And understand this, every second you hesitate, someone else is taking action. Someone else is training, learning, building. And when you meet him, he will dominate you. Not because he's better, but because he was willing to suffer longer. That's the price of greatness. Pain now, power forever. Or comfort now, and agony forever. Choose. But whatever you do, don't waste your fire. You've got two choices. Stay broken, or build the version of you no one believed you could be. That's it. There's no third option. The world doesn't care why you're behind. Life won't pause while you figure yourself out. And every second you stay still, your potential rots a little more. You think you're being patient, but you're actually procrastinating. You call it recovery, but it's retreat. And deep down, you know it. You were born with something. Call it spirit, call it energy, call it soul. But it's dying every day you live beneath your standards. People talk about finding themselves. No, you don't find yourself. You build yourself with action, with sweat, with pain, with refusal to be average. And here's what nobody wants to admit. You're going to suffer no matter what. You suffer from discipline or you suffer from disappointment. You suffer from early mornings and relentless grind or from watching your dreams wither while you lie to yourself. So if the pain is guaranteed, why not choose the one that leads to greatness? That's mindset. That's what separates lions from sheep. Choosing the pain that leads to power. You can either be the man who moves the world or the man the world forgets. There's no in between. People keep searching for motivation like it's a lightning bolt from the sky. But motivation is built through movement. You move. You grind when you don't want to. You earn your own fire by bleeding in silence. You will never respect yourself if you keep giving in to your feelings.